Internet, this is Lord Mad Dog, and we are playing Avorion. So, this time we're going to do another build. And in this time, I've already brought it in. I've already converted the model. I've made the model outside. No, actually, I downloaded this model. I didn't make this one. But I already got the model, converted it into voxels, and we imported it into the game. I will have a link for that online website in in the description. So let's go ahead and jump right on in. So first off, we're going to do is we're going to go around and fix up all these little holes and whatnot in the model as the base model. Because we want it to be more or less symmetric, and I want things to look basically on the level of what we're going to want them to look like when we make this whole thing as is. So that's what I am doing right now. I am just putting the little touches, and now I will also go ahead from there and start to formalize and make it much smoother. Actually start to block, well, the model's already been blocked out, but you get what I'm saying. We're going to go ahead and start to actually formulate the whole way it's going to look. So here I am just putting in, smoothing it out and making it look good, and that's what the whole object of this whole thing is going to be, is doing that and then installing the parts on the inside. So let's keep it doing it. Now, here I have a slight problem with the top because I wasn't sure exactly how far I wanted to go down. And I haven't, even though this looks good right here, I realized it's not going to work out the way I really wanted. I wanted it to be more of a heavy front end, kind of because this whole design it's called the Vindicator, which I haven't actually said yet, but it'll be in the title, so it don't matter. Anyway, the Vindicator is going to be a more heavier combat-based ship than my light fighter or my other vessels that I have mated. So we're going to try to create more of a heavy armor fill up front, so it can take a little bit more pounding. And with the new changes in beta, which they haven't actually been put out, I don't know, it depends on when you guys are actually end up watching this, but they're still in beta. Here I am. Armor is now very collision how would you say that, very collision effective. So it's very effective against collision. So that's very important to have a very heavy armored front. That will help dramatically if we run into anything. It already helped in previous systems, but now it really dramatically changes, at least from my little bit of testing in the beta, and that's pretty cool. Because right now, before, collision was kind of it wasn't quite done right. You could bump into an asteroid and blow up your entire ship in a millisecond. That was actually really annoying. So here I've actually just gone ahead and increased the size of the blocks on the front, making them all 2 times bigger than normal. So it just won't be one block system, there's 1 blocks of armor. It's 2 times by 4 times, so it's a pretty big block size up front, which gives us all that extra protection I was just talking about. I'm also now rearranging this up because I want the bottom. I know in the original model of this one, the bottom kind of the top and the bottom, there was this like circular rim around this thing up front, and it was just pure blocks. And but actually I didn't quite like that in the original model, so I'm going to try to make it kind of more smoothly connect here at the bottom with it, which I actually think I kind of have actually achieved. And I do add a little bit more detail with that on the later on down here, so it does smoothly put together. Actually, it's got more like a grill on front when I get done with it. Yeah. So now here I'm going to go ahead and work with the bottom a bit. We're going to take and try to figure out exactly how we want the bottom to work. We're going to take it back 5 or 6 paces. Well, I'm sure we're going to take it all the way back because that's what I want to do. I want to work out certain sections and just keep moving on forward. Yes. There we go. Putting that in there. And just moving the whole thing back and it slowly gets more narrow towards the back. Kind of like, I don't know what you would describe that for shape-wise, but it gets a little bit narrower at the back. Yeah, as it goes on backwards. So we got to cut out some of these blocks here to do that. And I like it shaping out pretty well. I'm going to jump a little bit farther in the thing here. I'll show you a little bit of the back here after you get done shaping it out. Here we go. I have now finished down the bottom, that shape out there. You'll see it when I go back around to look at it. Here I have transitioned to the top. Now, this is the entire cockpit section of it. And what I'm doing right now is I'm blocking it out with a heavy armor, and I will convert them into regular armor. I mean, glass, because this is going to be the massive cockpit up front. It's part of the really cool looking design of this whole thing. But it's easier to block it out with actual armor because you can see easier and better and make sure they connect. In here, I've already gone ahead and just did the whole thing there because I was having a little bit of trouble and I decided to cut. Alright, so that is the front end there. You see that? It's got that giant cockpit up front. It looks really neat. And now we're just working on a little detail off to the side. And you can also see the tail I was talking about. And we're also building this flange that will come out and come out over the entire ship. That's what we're doing. And I'm going to work on the guns here a little. I'm going to go ahead and round them instead of because in the original model they were more gigantic just block shapes, which it's okay, but I want to add just a tad bit more detail to it than just the box shape. I want to make them look a lot more like an actual gun. To be kind of, they're going to have like a kind of a knob on the bottom and kind of be a little bit rounded, and yeah, I think they're going to be pretty cool. And once I'm done with that, the entire, because there's no actual building of guns in this game system, I'm going to go ahead and just fill the entire open area there with thrusters. And because this on this outside, it really helps. So here we are. I've basically done the gun, done a little bit of thing on the side because I connected up there. Just finishing up the shape of the gun around this area. And then I will go ahead and try to make that little knob on the bottom half I was talking about earlier. But I can't get it at first. During this recording, it took me a lot to actually get that gun shaped the way I wanted. I had to rebuild it like 5 to 6 times because I couldn't get the blocks to connect the way I wanted them to. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So here, I go ahead and build out the bottom, but I end up completely redoing that. So we're going to jump a little bit farther forward. We'll just keep skipping through this. You guys don't want to see the entire process. You just want a little bit of it. You get the understanding. It's basic block out, as I talked about in my last one. So if you want more of a tutorial one, my last one was pretty much a lot more of a tutorial based than this one is. And that's because, well, yeah, I'm not worth just reiterating the same instructions over and over again. So we're going to jump a little bit forward. Doop. And it's still working on the bottom here of the gun, and I'm going to jump a lot forward. There we've got more or less kind of like that bulge we were looking for, and here it is completed down there at the bottom. And now that that's complete, we're going to go ahead and you will get to see good pictures of it. See later on, if I kind of pass through it and you're like, well, wait, I didn't get to see that what it looked like when you were done with it. Yeah, I'll show you the whole thing at the back, so don't worry too much. Here we are building the entire backside, just connecting this all together. Yeah, making it look nice. We're gonna one step it down to 3 or 4 pieces out, so it gets kind of a nice machine built look, like as if it's kind of, this is kind of more like as if you were kind of this design is more kind of theme. The last one was like a jet fighter. This one's more of a helicopter in space jet theme, but it's more of a also at the same time it's more of a heavy armor build, kind of like a tank or something like that type build. And here I realized that I didn't have the amount of blocks in there that I would actually need to create the smooth shaping up at the top that I wanted. So here I just went back and deleted some of the blocks I had placed before, and now I am realigning it so it will actually come around and have this smooth shaping that I will need to create this top here. Also, you'll notice that I have gone and I've painted some of the areas red, and that's where I'm basically deciding I'm going to want my turrets to sit, because in the new beta they have released the turret. You know, you can build your own custom turrets, and so I'm just making sure they're exactly going to fit where I want them, and that's why I painted them and made it look the way I did, because I wanted to block things out perfectly before you get, because otherwise you have to go back in and rebuild, and it can take some good time. So just look forward when you're building, look forward into the future, make sure you've got thinking about everything when you're building, because it's not as bad as From the Depths or Star Maid or other games like that where everything is very reliant on the ship it's designed before. Now here I've just gone ahead and I've skipped forward. I've just gone and you see I have actually just modeled the whole thing. No more just kind of talking about it. I have made the back fins. I'm not quite entirely happy with the back fin look, but I do think they add to the model, so I did not remove them. They look a little bubbly, but I kind of also like them too. They've got it's a half for me. Now what I just did here is I went ahead and I selected all of them. Selected all the blocks and I combined them together. So they'll combine all the blocks together that can be combined, so you have less blocks count. Because with a build like this, and with most of my builds, you can have thousands upon thousands of blocks, and it can slow down the game. So you want to merge as many as possible. The only problem with merging the blocks is it does not merge them symmetrically. So you can have problems with that later on. Sometimes you will end up having to just go back and delete those giant sections of blocks and manually turn them into regular blocks. Now what I'm doing after I did that, I am just going around and I'm converting everything that was not in armor into armor. So any of the original blocks, which just were blank iron blank hull blocks that peek through, are now being converted to armor. At least that's the plan. Of course, I'm going to miss some, so when I delete them, I will have to replace them or undo and replace them anyway. So here I'm going to go ahead and just show the hull blocks, and like I said, I'm going to delete all these extra blocks because these are mostly underneath. Now there will be a couple holes in my ship here. Yeah, we see a whole bunch of holes, and in fact that's all way too many holes, so I undid, and now I'm going to go ahead and once again try to find and convert all the ones into armor. Yes, which really makes a difference. And next time I delete them, I will just go through and manually fill in the holes, which won't take long. There's just small little process here, getting the ones that are really close to the outside, making sure I got it, and boom, I deleted. Now once again we got some holes, but I'm filling them in real nice and easy, and we're actually very close to being done with the outer shell of this build. Now it's going to be mostly working on the inside, placing the blocks and the machinery that go inside. Thankfully, Avorion is not super complicated as I was saying before, and you can. There's only like a few absolute integral blocks that you have to put on the inside to make the ship function the way it needs to function, which is really nice. That's one of the things I really love about Avorion. So here we are. We're going to go ahead and install our our electric generator, our energy generator. Once again, I'm armoring it with thrusters on the outside and doing that. That's just because my personal preference. I always thought that the generator should be explosive and, so armor it up. Reactor. This is always thought, that would be like the vulnerable point of the ship if you were to play in game kind of style that kind of coheses with the other type of games I was talking about, like From the Depths and different things. Like From the Depths has explosive blocks like ammo and different things. Your AI important blocks. Star Maid has that. Avorion. Wait, does Avorion have stuff like that? I do remember Avorion having something that explodes if it's hit. Anyway, I don't think I've played Avorion on this server, on my YouTube channel. No, actually I haven't. Well, I might have to do that sometime. Here, I'm just filling in, like I said, I'm filling in the arms here with the thrusters. And what that'll do is give us, because the thrusters are on the outside and they're pretty big, it'll give us a really good turning radius, and even roll, pitch, and yaw. No, not pitch. It'll give us roll, yaw, and what's the other one? Yaw, roll, pitch, no, roll, yaw, and I thought there was another one. No, I guess not. Okay, so yeah, they give us good roll and yaw, So here, and then I'll just put a little bit of thrusters in the front to give us a good amount of pitch. And now I am going through and I am placing my integrity field generators. I forgot to place integrity field generators on the inside of this, but that's no big deal, because what I do is I just go ahead and put an integrity field generator inside there and then just cover over with a half piece of armor here instead of having a full piece of armor like I used to have. It's not a big deal. It is a slight vulnerability point in the build, but it's not, that's very, I'm not going to get hit there a lot, and it's not an integrable block to begin with. And integrity field generator is actually pretty cheap. So even if the integrity field gets destroyed and it just gets to the thrusters, there's nothing important there. So, alright, that is that, and we're going to go ahead and jump onto the finished build. So look forward to it. We'll see it in a few seconds. So here we are, and say hello to the Vindicator. Yeah! I actually really like this, the way this thing turned out. It's really nice. Even the paint scheme is pretty neat. It fits that theme of what I was going for, kind of being a heavier starter ship, and it scales pretty well. Right now, let's see, price. It cost 5K iron, 1.5K titanium, and 27K credits. It's not bad for cost for a starter ship, and it is fully scalable. So let's go ahead and look at its finer details. So let's go ahead and front. Like I said, we got the heavily armored front. We also got this kind of like a grill system up front right here. Kind of adds that nice little, I like that detail. You might not, I don't know. Here we also got the gun bit detail we were talking about a little bit. It's got that nice bulge here, kind of like as if it was a, you know, I don't see them on helicopters. I don't really know what the science is behind them or what is usually contained in there, but yeah. All right, so also, because of the way this thing's built, it's fully capable of just removing this turret and actually installing one of those new coaxial guns. But the coaxial weapons in beta are, well, obviously they're still in beta, and they're not quite all that good yet. I do believe they do need some aiming in and of themselves. They need to be able to aim just a tad bit. Right now, they're just shoot straight forward, but that doesn't work because the way the whole aiming system of this game works. When you move your camera, it affixes your aiming, which makes massive problems. Also, when the coaxials don't converge on the target, you end up having one coaxial weapon only being able to hit, so you couldn't have two coaxial weapons on the side. I do believe he'll probably add some aiming. I think a good 20 degree aim, 25 to 35 degree angle aiming on coaxial weapons would be quite sufficient and be really nice. Okay, so I have put our, right here, let me just get the selections here. This is our torpedo launchers. I wanted them to go out straight, but that's not possible. It's just not how the game works. So they're gonna have to shoot out sideways and then come back around and hit the target from the side. It's not a big deal. I've tested it. It's not gonna get in the way or anything. I wish you could choose to make them go out straight, period, which would be really cool because that would have some pretty powerful punch if you're gonna use kinetic warheads. Okay, now I have the top turrets, and yes, as you can see, I have built my own custom turrets for this design. I like the way they look. They shoot pretty nice. They look really nice. Yes. And we got detail in the back here. We have the engines, which actually turned out to be really well. I really liked how the engines turned out. Actually, I really just like this design. It's gonna, of course, I built it, obviously. You know, everyone who's builds something, they always really like it. Oh, actually, that's not true. There's been times I built something and I've just didn't have that kind of, what happened here? I think I may have messed up. I might have to fix that. I thought I had rounded that, but it's not a big deal. I might have to do that after this thing. I have to fix that and make that round. Okay, and that's the bottom there. Has that nice streamlined look as it goes back. A little bit, little hook here, there. And now it's time to go ahead and look on the inside of this thing after I've done kind of finished it. So here is the inside. it is more or less hollow on the inside because I have it designated for upgrade systems. So this block here, this blue block, if you turn on match blocking and you just go ahead and you go down to shields, let's see, there we are, where's it, shield generator, there we go, nanite shield generator, and then you can just install yourself a nice big solid shield generator. Boom, instant shields. Isn't that nice? Oh, I also have clear shield mod on because I don't like mods, the big blue spinkity bud thing. Okay, so that's this where you would place your shield generator. This is your actual generator, generates energy. I have it a little bigger than normal because I was using different things with it as testing. But you can change the size or leave it the way it is. Here also we have some room here on the side for random odd blocks. I dedicated it. You can just place any here and scale to your desired size. If you're going to use this mod, this ship, it'll be available online somewhere. It may not be in the workshop because I'm having problems with the workshop at the moment, but Kanuchi is actually looking into it for me. Yes, so it has a few torpedo storage here, but they're a little bit too small at this current size to actually have torpedoes storage. Like, so you would actually have to come in here and let's change this to torpedo storage. But the instant you start scaling us up even a tad bit, you get tons and tons of torpedo storage. Okay, and then here is your hyperspace block, where you would put your hyperspace block. Just the same principle. You would just put it right here, scale it up, and boom, you've got your hyperspace block. And there you can even put it this way, which you can, so that's where the red is, and that is pretty much everything on the inside. Crew quarters, and the front end is loaded with thrusters so it can turn and be very maneuverable. This actually ends up being a good bit more maneuverable than my Starfighter, surprisingly, even though this one has a lot thicker, heavier armor on it. So it's got that nice, it doesn't have that, because of the aesthetics, it doesn't have that nice fluidy fly feel that the other one did. My Starfighter one, but it's got a nice little coolness to it, all of its own. Yeah. Oops, that was dumb. Oh, it's creative. I can just start and create a new one. So yeah, that is the Vindicator. It looks really cool. It's quite sleek and, well, not sleek. It's quite sweet and armored up. If you're into that type of look in that build, like, you know, where things are really look like they're heavily armored. It kind of looks like it could be a bomber or even a transport, a crew transport. It could even be like, could look kind of like a crew transport. But it's pretty cool. It looks like something you'd see in the old 90 games, I would say. Or back in the good old era of actual space combat. Yeah. And that is pretty much it. This is a rather short episode, I know, but it's not much more to say about it. It looks beautiful. It's designed really well. I like the way it looks. And it's available online for you to download and change and effect it any way you like. So, if you have enjoyed this, like, shares, comments. If you have anything, suggestions that I should have done or shouldn't do with it, put it in the comments. That'd be very nice. I love to hear feedback on my work. I know there's not a lot of little extra add-ons. I've never been little lines coming, because I've been looking at some of the other people's designs. Wow, they can get some real detail in there, having lines and stuff like coils and stuff coming off the backside. But each their own. I like it, actually. I've been thinking, like, yeah, I might end up starting to incorporate stuff like that into mine, having glow blocks and different things. I think it may end up going that route because I realize how cool it is. But for the time being, we still got the old kind of lower poly but really cool looking 90 ships, or early 2000 type spaceships. Okay, and if you liked it, subscribe, like it. Yeah, if you liked it, like it. And that's pretty much it. Lord Mad Dog, signing off.